All right. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Diva Self-Care and Holistic Retreat Recap. I'm excited to have the ladies, I'm going to call them the divas, that are on, and they are here to let's talk about and recap the self-care retreat. I'm so excited. How many are excited about that retreat?
Yeah,
I know I was.
awesome.
I know I was. And so I want us to get a chance to come out and just talk about it a little bit because we have something in store for you at the end. And so one thing I want to do is just go ahead and just introduce everyone. We have Nicole Smith here. We're going to let them introduce themselves. We have Miss Lanisha Bridges, Kiana Wright, who is here, and Miss Deidre Richard, excuse me, and of course myself, yours truly, Margie McLean, who is the host of this retreat. And one of the things I want to say is this retreat is not just to come and open up old wounds. We are here to actually heal those wounds that you possibly have. And I know I had someone say, I don't want to open that up. Well, that's not the point of that. The point of this retreat is, listen, we as women, no matter what your background, no matter what your race is, no matter what your sexual orientation is, whatever, we all are women that are going through the same similar things. And what we do is we come together just to be able to embrace each other and build a sisterhood. And so I'm so excited. This right here, I will probably say has been one of the best retreats I have had, to see people jumping and shouting and running and having fun and things like that. So I'm excited. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna talk long. I want each lady to introduce themselves, and then we're gonna come on and we're just gonna discuss what was the things that you got out of this retreat. And then we're gonna talk about seasons. For those who don't know, the name of this retreat was "It's Your Season to Be Healed, Be Delivered, and Be Set Free." And I believe some people that came was healed, they was delivered, and they were set free from the things that was holding them back. So before we start, we're gonna start with Miss Nicole Smith. If she can go ahead and introduce herself, and then we're gonna go to Miss Lanisha Bridges, Kiana Wright, and then Deetra Richards.
Well, thank you so much, Margie. I had an amazing time. My name is Nicole Smith, minister, New Life Christian. New Life Christian Academy is one of the places that I go, but I'm a life coach, also an author, and enjoyed myself to the utmost.
Thank you. Miss Lanisha Bridges.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Margie, for allowing us to come back and just recap and to be able to share and to connect once again. Thank you to all the beautiful ladies that are here that I am among. I salute you, queens. My name is Lanisha Bridges, and I had an absolutely amazing time. I want to say that not only did I get a chance to speak, but I also was poured into by this amazing group of women that are here. And thank you so much for Margie being the visionary. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth, Empowerment, Motivation, and Support LLC, where all things grow and all people grow. And you're able to just achieve to become your ultimate best self. I'm an author, I'm a certified professional life coach, and podcast. All types of things that we do, but the main thing that we do is to pour in to people each and every day to make sure that they are living their best life and their dreams are coming true.
Wonderful. So next, we're going to have Miss Kiana Wright to come on and introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Kiana Wright. I hosted, helped, facilitated the yoga stretch meditation session during this amazing retreat. But other things that I'm a mommy, and so I was just getting back out. So yes to that. I'm also an author, a teacher, educator in all the senses, not just for kids, but for their families as well, especially with special education. And that is just my heart and my love, along with yoga and meditation. So that is me.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Miss Deidre Richards.
Hello, everyone, my beautiful queens. It's so good to see everyone again. As she stated, I'm Deetra Richards. I'm also known as Evangelist Richards. I'm one of the associate members of Grace Temple Church here in Eastover, part of Fayetteville. I am a wife and a grandmother and a new great grandmother as of the 18th. So I'm a Gigi. I'm excited about that. I'll have my 4th grandchild in May. So the tree is actually growing, so I'm excited about that. I am just so elated to be a part of this. I tell you, that retreat, not only did I pour out, I got poured into. I got notes. I do look at my notes. I'm getting ready to start my 31-day journal to healing. I am excited about that. I needed to get some things taken care of before I started that because I didn't want to be interrupted. So I just thank God for the opportunity that Margie has given us to help each other heal. Yes. Most importantly, help each other heal and help each other to live on purpose for whatever we need to live on purpose, for whatever our goals and our plans are. So I'm excited about tonight.
Yes, so I want to thank you ladies for coming, and we're going to go ahead and start our discussion real quick. And can someone just really right quick just tell me what was one of the things that resonated with you the most from the retreat? What was your takeaway from the retreat?
I think the most important thing that I got out of it, and Nicole actually mentioned it in her session, is that I am not a finished product. You know, sometimes we get to a point in our lives that we think we're done with whatever task that we have started. Yes. It's like we're done, but we're not. You know, we're not a finished product. There's so much more that we can give out, and there's so much more healing that can take place because we think we're healed. Yes. But as we stated in the sessions and stuff, there are triggers that do come about from time to time that we're not totally healed from, but we're not a finished product. So we still have time to get through the rest of our healing process. And that stuck with me. And I've actually copied that and put that one line on my board at work, that I'm not a finished product.
I love
There's still more to come.
Yeah, I love that. Anyone else, Nicole?
Well, I done stole a line, flip the script.
I love that.
Yeah, we're gonna flip the script. And so it was just so much in meeting. Now, Deetra, I had known before. I had not met Lanisha, and when I met her, I did Google her and was looking at all the things that she had been doing, and I'm like, wow. She is doing a lot. But when I heard her speak, I could hear her. It's like you could hear her life. You know, and she had, like, you learned so much from it, but now you're able to pour in it. But you too are still working on some things. But that thing, it's like all the women were like perfectly structured and perfectly like a puzzle, fitted in one right after the other. And it was just so encouraging. And so, but flip the script was the thing that I got from it, and I'm just I don't have it written anywhere but up here. But other than the speaking, it was so much. What caught my eye was the teamwork. Yes, working together with women that you have not met, but working together as if you had met. Right. And then, no big eyes, no little U's. Everybody was there for the same purpose. I liked all the teamwork, Margie. But them noodles, they got me. Them noodles and the marshmallow. I'm not gonna say no more because you might want to do it again. But don't. It looked like it was gonna be easy. Yes. Was not nothing easy about it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. But I love the working together. I love that part. And there were so many other things that we worked together on, but I'm just gonna stop right there because I don't want to share everything. But I like, as a speaker, you love, that's your gift, your passion, you love to speak, but it ain't nothing like sitting back and listening,
I'm telling you.
applying it just
I'm
to you.
telling
Just to you, not to your auntie or your
Mhm,
cousin or or Bobby Ray. It's just you, just you. So that's kind of like what I got out of it.
I love that. We'll talk about those spaghetti noodles later. Lanisha?
Yes, I have to just come right behind these two queens and say it was absolutely phenomenal. And to be able to not have met, not to have put together your, the talks that you were going to do together, it literally mirrored each other.
It did. It
It
did.
literally, there was a piece from the conversation that Nicole had, and she literally what that was one of my highlights. She bought out a little car,
Mhm.
and she talked about the journey that we were on, and a lot of it was just truthfully confirmation to truthfully what is happening in everyone's life. Every word had a place for
Mhm.
everyone, even though
Mhm.
that everyone took it in differently. It was
Mhm.
the beauty of, I sat down to get a meal, and even though that we were eating the same thing, it tasted different to
Mhm.
me versus the woman that
Mm.
was sitting beside me.
Mm.
And when Dietra was able to come out and, yes, talking about flipping the script, you understood that you didn't have to stay stuck in the place that you were
Right.
in. You had the opportunity to actually change the course of your journey. So
Mhm.
it literally went right behind Nicole's talking about the journey, and Dietra saying you have the ability to change the direction in your journey. And
Yes.
then we were able to talk about that healing still right now is not impossible,
Right.
that you can turn that tragedy
Tragedy in the
into a
triumph.
triumph. It
Yes.
Yep.
doesn't
Yes.
have to stay your tragedy. It can turn into something that is beautiful and something that looks like what you
Mm.
never thought that it would.
Mhm.
So the impossible became possible. And what really truthfully stuck out to me as well is that we didn't just talk about, the physical. We had the yoga there that was absolutely
Oh
amazing
my
and
Yes.
absolutely for everybody. It was in a chair. You didn't have an excuse of why not to do it. And, the word was bought into that and everything. And then, you were able to round it off with the finale of, you literally have already given this beautiful journal of self
Mhm.
healing, and the letter that we were able to write to ourselves out of the vision that your book has. And then to hear you sing, that was the
God.
highlight
It
of
was
my, because I
beautiful.
didn't know you could.
Uh,
So once I heard your voice, I was just like, well, that's the cherry on top for me,
uh-huh.
because if healing looks like anything, you can heal through song. And we took it way back. So I was excited about everything that happened, down to the vendors and everything. So those were my highlights.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Kiana, your takeaway?
So like I was saying, as a new mommy and finally getting out of the house and doing some things for me, that was, a big one, was taking that step and not only coming to a retreat, but being a part of it as, someone that's presenting and, giving part of your soul and spirit to other people. And although I was nervous just because it's the first time I've done it since, giving birth and having my baby, there was so much acceptance and love and genuineness that easily melted away. Like I didn't have any of that. Where as a presenter, it was just like everybody was like, "Yes, we're here for you," along with to learn from you. So I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. You're muted.
There you go. That's amazing that you said that. All of just listen to everyone and just it almost, I'll be honest with you, I was sitting in the back when everyone was giving their testimonials about how the retreat helped them. I actually was in the back about to cry because this is what I wanted everyone to get out of it. It wasn't just coming and going to a typical retreat where you have someone preach to you or pray and prophesy on you. Like, we literally are embracing each other and coming together, and we are healing each other just through the words that we were saying, and just to have all of the women, like I said, everybody had their own topics, but at the same time, the topics meshed in between each other. I mean, they just meshed. And so it was just exciting to see that. It was almost like, and even, I'll be honest with you, even the order of the ladies. And for some reason, Nicole, you were supposed to be second on that Saturday. But Lanisha, I end up calling you first and Leisha second. And someone was like, that order it was meant to be. It was meant to be in that order. And so I was like, okay, God, because when you got up there speaking, I was like, oh no, Nicole was actually supposed to be second. But then someone was like, I love the way it flowed. And, you know, another young lady came in and she was like, it was very elegant. The way everything worked out was beautiful. I'm looking forward to next year. And I was like, you know, and it was humbling to me, not, yeah, I know I can do it. It was just really humbling that women who don't even know me, women who, some women who just met me, like the two young ladies from Charlotte, they found it on Eventbrite. The young lady, Deetra, who was your roommate, she found it on Eventbrite. Those three ladies I did not even know, and they came, and all of them was like, well, you know, I didn't know if I was going to come or not, but I was just, you know, I decided to come, and they was like, I'm so glad that I did, and stuff. So just hearing the talk, and I'm like, man, I'm just already looking forward to next year. To be honest, I really am looking forward to next year. So let's talk about the title of it. It's your season to be healed, to be delivered, and to be set free. When you think about that title, what was the first thing that came to mind when I first presented this retreat to you with that title? I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. And whoever want to go first can. What was your thoughts about that?
The title is great, but for me at that time, because we do go through our own seasons, I was going at you know, the title, you gave it to us a while back, but you know, as I got closer to the event and started, you know, studying, life was hitting me. So at that time, I'm like, oh my God, what season am I in right now? You know, with my mother being sick and hospitalized, going into rehab, my mother-in-law passing. I'm like, man, what season am I in right now? So how can I encourage somebody else? Those are the things that I was thinking about as the event got closer. And I was trying to really narrow everything down. It just took me back. It took me back to, you know, the seasons that when I was depressed, the seasons when I was sad, the season when I was joyful. I had a lot of different emotions that I was dealing with at that time. But as I sat down after hearing Nicole and Lanisha speak, God began to work on me, and I was able to pour. Because honestly, most of what I talked about was put together that Saturday night.
Wow.
I had a few little notes down, but nothing what I talked about did not come to view, or either for me to even talk about it was till that Saturday night, because God was still working on me, because I was still going through my season that I needed to go through. So the way everything flowed, and I have to agree, the way it flowed perfectly. Perfectly.
Wow. Anyone else? It's your season.
And I'll go. And I definitely agree, Deetra, with every whenever we are going to do something, it seems like either the day before or the week before or something begins to happen. It's almost like momentum begins to build, and it's not the momentum that you want, because you're trying to make strides towards what you came to do, like you said, preparing for it and getting yourself together. But then there's those things that pop up. The same reason for the conference, for the retreat, is that this is my season of healing. Having to walk in and, like you said, your mother, having to deal with, things and sickness, and having to deal with things like, school and things like, your family, and life doesn't stop because you're purposed to do something. Life doesn't stop. The issues and the concerns don't stop coming. So how do I heal in the midst of my purpose?
Right.
How do you know? And because all of us, we do have a purpose, but that season, that this is my season for healing,
Yeah.
it is, because your healing is a daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, it'll change seasons on you, but each and every season comes with a new process
Mm-hmm.
that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Lord, I had to do this time in order to heal. I had to lay on my face this time to heal. Last time, you know, I had to get my support system around me in order to get through this because I was too weak to do it by
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
But to look in the room, it was literally all seasons there at the same time. It was
Wow.
like, you know, I'm in this, my sister's in this season, but I'm going to help and be that, truthfully, that midwife for
Mm-hmm.
her
Wow.
through her season. And I'm going to, you know, need somebody to help me birth and get out what I need to get out through this season. But we're going to love on each other. We're going to be there. And I just thank God for you being the visionary for it, because we don't know what it took to put on this retreat for
Mm-hmm.
you. But what I can say is that no matter what that thing was that had to occur for that to come off, Lord, we thank you for having this queen to be able to do what she was able to do, and to still allow for there to be a season and a safe space for healing. And it just flowed. So I loved it. It was, the order absolutely was correct. You called the right name at the right time. That's all I can say. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all I have.
Listen, when
The
you
Lord
talk about the season, we talk about those seasons. I would say, you know, you had your spring. I was excited. The fall, when it wasn't going as looking quite, you know, the way I wanted it to look. And then the winter, I was like, Lord, should I do this and that? You know, and I was like, you know what? Let me just call the hotel and see if I could just move it. And then, you know, of course, Hot Girl Summer was when March came and we had the event, and it was Hot Girl Summer. So I went through all 4 seasons as well. Even putting this together, you know, it takes a lot, but I thank the Lord for the people that He put in place to help me. I promise you, I cannot go without saying I asked Him to send me the right people in my life. And He sent me the young lady, Tawana. I met her in junior league. And this young lady, all the decor she did, her aunt, her cousin came, and I didn't even know she was coming with a crew. Okay. And then she put the boxes together. And you know, Kiana can tell you, it's hard for me to take my hands off sometimes when I've been doing it, because she's my virtual assistant also. So she had to tell me, listen, either you want me to do this or you don't want me to do this. What you want me to do? So I'm like, okay, okay. First I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, okay. So just taking my hands off of it, and she did. We just met, and like I said, it was just hot girl summer during the march. I've truly enjoyed myself. So, any takeaways, Nicole or Kiona? Any takeaways that you had from the retreat?
I guess my takeaway is I'm excited for, like, I'm just excited and anticipating next year and everything that's going to happen based on what happened, where I am. And yes, all the seasons did occur to get here, to get us through and all of that. But I am in anticipation of the continuation of this journey
Mm-hmm.
that we're taking together. Yes.
Yes, Nicole.
My takeaway is when you first gave the title, I was in a whole different place. So I gave you what I was going to talk about based on where I was then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The original date was in November. So I was based it on that. But I will tell you, from the time that you asked me, I was working. And during that time, I lost my job.
Mm.
And they stopped doing a particular area of where I worked at, so they laid me off. And I'm like, wow, it's amazing. And both of the speakers just said it. When you're about to speak, basically, all hell kind of start breaking loose.
I'm telling
They
you.
know you about to, whoo!
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, let's just see if you really about what you say you about.
Right.
And so I did, I got laid off, and it just so happened that I was leaving an event. And I said, let me stop by my old job that I got laid off of 2.5 years ago. and I'm gonna see if such and such is there. I'm just gonna say hi. So I get there and they say, okay, you know what? I said, I got laid off and da da da. How you doing? And da da. She said, it's funny because the job that you had 2.5 years ago, the lady just, her last day was yesterday.
Mm.
So needless to say, to make a long story short, I'm now working the job that I had 2.5 years ago that I've been working for 10 years. I was working for 10 years before I got laid off. And so now I'm working, and now you change it from November to March. I said, well, look at God, now I get a paid vacation.
Right.
I'm like, woo, before I wasn't even working. I was still coming.
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing that when I get there, the boss that actually laid me off that couple of years ago reinstated me as if I never left.
Wow.
So I got 14 years. He gave me back 14 years.
Wow.
And I wasn't there the whole 14 years. Only God could do that.
Yes.
So now I done went through about 4-5 seasons. Now March comes, and now the same exact thing that I was going to talk about, I can now talk about, and a whole different thing, but it still comes under the fact that he's still working on me. We're still under construction, you know, from triumph to tragedy, from this to this, from tragedy to this. And it's the process. And then, you know, God, and you turn around and God done flip the script.
Right. Wow.
I'm like, so it's like, woo, 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 woo. So you have to know that this was not just a happen chance thing. It was something that the Holy Spirit directed. And the great thing about it is we ain't did nothing.
Right.
We just obeyed. And so when you gave that title, you know, I think we're always going to be probably in a season of healing in a sense, but it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be something different. It's going to be something different. And it doesn't mean that it's going to get easier. It doesn't mean it's going to get better. It just means now we know the same God that this, the same God that took us from Egypt and brought us here. It's the same exact God. So kudos to the Holy Spirit.
I know that's right. You know, just listening to you talk, what came to mind was the title of brokenness to restoration. So you actually was restored. You know, you was broken because you lost your job, but then he restored you and restored all the years back. Which you know, you got all your years back. You know, so as if you never left, as if you never left. So I enjoy that. So how do you define the different seasons of life? Because life be lifing. Yeah, I promise you, life be lifing. Okay. So how would you define the different seasons of life? Let's go with Kiana. How would you define the different seasons of life?
So I guess the best thing I saw somewhere on social media where I've seen two things. There's that straight path, the ball is going on the straight path and it's taking forever to get there. But the ball that's going up and down the hills and the curves is getting you to your destination faster. And so when I saw that one, I was like, oh, okay, so the hills have purpose. Not that nobody's ever said it, but the visual of the ball that's going up and down is making it further down the road than if I had just stayed straight. So my journey and my troubles and my highs and my lows are getting me closer to where I am meant to be. The other one was when we have all these dots, it takes the wisdom and the discernment to know that those dots are meant and how to connect them to make a picture and to make the picture. So those were the two things that come to mind when you asked me that question. Was everything has a purpose, and once we put everything together, then we can fully see the picture of our journey. And so sometimes we have to just keep going on those highs and lows to get to the next picture that's going to keep us going. So that's what came to mind when you asked that question.
So pretty much those hills are like a roller coaster. They build, you probably go up slow, but when you come back down, you build momentum. Kind of like how I teach, when I teach my science class and have them make a roller coaster, and they have to, it builds momentum and you go faster and faster. And those dots are on the paper, because I remember we used to do that when we was a kid, right? You know, people heard they connect the dots, la, la, la. That's what came to my mind. And it makes no sense until we see the numbers. And even when we are actually tracing the numbers. We still don't see it. Like, what in the world is this? Why is it going this way? And then after a while, when we get closer to the end, we start to
That
really
picture
see
shows
the
up.
picture. It just start, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. But it took me all of this to get there. So I like that analogy. I love
I
that.
like that.
All
I like
right,
Yes.
Deidre.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That was very good. I was just talking to a friend today, and we were talking about the seasons that we're going through now with the weather and all that. I said, girl, I got an umbrella in my car, I got a raincoat, a thick jacket, a thin jacket, and then I can take the jacket that I'm currently wearing off. It's just you don't know what you're going to be facing, but it's all part of preparation.
Right.
It's always is being prepared. So if it's a big downpour, I got a heavy jacket in the car. I have my umbrella. If it's just misting, I have my little rain jacket. I can put my little head on. If it's the wind just blowing slightly, I got a lightweight jacket for that. And if it's nice and 80 or 85 degrees, the lightweight jacket that I wear at work, I can just take it off and wear my short sleeve. It's just, to me, it's just all for just preparing you.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to be ready because, like you said, life is lifing. You don't ever know when something's going to hit you. You up today, down tomorrow, up today, down tomorrow. But I always keep in mind that there is nothing that I cannot accomplish as long as I have God on my side.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought about today, thinking about the seasons.
All right. Lanisha, how would you define the different seasons of life?
One of the one of the things that really hit me about seasons is that we've been through it all before. It's not like the seasons are a shock, right? You've seen the seasons, but where were you at in your life? I think it's about your growth and what that looks like for every season. Because each season you've seen before, but you haven't seen it at the place where you've grown to at this point. So whereas, I may not have known how to dress, right? Like teacher was saying, I may not have known how to dress for the season that I was in, but now that I know, I can be prepared. I know to have a heavy coat for the winter. I know to have this. I know to have that. But are you able to appreciate the growth that you have had during these seasons? Because the seasons don't change. It's how you react to the seasons that changes. Am I prepared for those April showers that I can smell the flowers in May? Have I prepared, am I able to appreciate that? Am I able to even appreciate when I didn't know that I should have brought, that raincoat or umbrella and I got rained on? And then I realized that I could catch cold or something could happen, even though the rain is beautiful and I want to play all in it. And the storm, it may have scared me, but now I know that I can get through it. So the next time that it comes around, I am stronger for it. Right. And it's cold out, it can get a little frigid. It can seem like that I'm all by myself. When it's cold, even if you have the fireplace or somebody beside you, you can still feel that coldness, that bitterness of it, but do I not appreciate still the season, even though it's cold and I can't do really what I want to do? The season of cold and things laying dormant is all for a purpose, because if it doesn't lay dormant, it's not going to be able to flourish the next season like it needs to. So everything needs rest. Everything needs an opportunity to lay dormant so that it can bring out what it needs to when it becomes spring. And when, there's a season for everything. So everything that you have in your life, there's also a season for it. So I would say that we can learn from the seasons. If we really take a look at it, we can learn from it.
One of the things I heard you say was, and you and Dietrich saying preparing. I think about as I and I have to always bring science because I'm a science teacher, right? So I moved from the South and I decided to move to Detroit. And the winter time is a whole lot different from being here, right? So I get moved to this new place. And now I have to go through this season of a colder winter than what I'm used to. So now I have to learn how to now dress and pack up and layer up and everything And it's going to be a hard winter for me because I'm not used to this. So when I think about that, sometimes God move us into this new place, and we now have to adapt to this new season of life. And a lot of times when we move, we say, yes, the Lord has elevated me. And people don't realize every time you get elevated, it's always going to be something that happens in that elevation. It's not going to be all peaches and cream. So now you're going through the winter of learning, like, oh my God, why did you bring me here? Why am I here? What? So now you got to relearn again how to dress in this new area or this new place in life that God has you. And a lot of times people think that when God elevate us, that it's going to be all good. He elevated me. No, it's some stuff that's coming with that elevation. So now you have to learn how to redress again, how to do it all over again, and try not to go back to where we come from. And so I think our seasons, the seasons are totally different in a different area in life, right? And a different elevation in life. So I thank you for that, because that I never thought about that, but I'm a type that when you're talking, my imagination goes, and that's one of the things I was thinking about, just moving in elevation. As it get elevated, we get colder. So now we got to learn how to redress again, and things like that, and learn those seasons again, because the seasons are different. We got to learn those seasons in that new era. Nicole?
One of the things I think about when I think about defining seasons, I know that there are seasons in my life when I am full of joy. That same season, I feel like I'm rested. I feel like there's some good peace. I mean, it's just a wonderful place to be. And so when I'm in that place, I always ask God, help me to be reminded of this place when you take me to the next season. Because I know it ain't gonna be like this all the time. But I will tell you, I take advantage of the times when I'm in the season and there is joy. There is so much joy. There's tears. I'm so grateful for where he has me. There are moments in that season where I just go from room to room and thanking God, this is mine. What? Oh God, thank you. Thank you. And it's not so much the materialistic things, it's the house with peace in it. And I have to be reminded when I go to the next season and there's not peace like I want it to be, I have to be reminded there is peace. Remember when you were there? Remember when you had those times and you were on your knees just thanking God, and folk were giving you money, you were having this going on, God bless you with a job. So I have to be reminded. So each season, you're right, it is totally different. It still may be the summer, but it ain't the same kind of summer that it was last year.
Right.
You know, it might be spring and it's beautiful flower, but it is not, because the higher you go, the more, you know, he said, to whom much is given, much is required. So yeah, I'm gonna give you this, but I'm looking for a little bit more from you. I can't get from you what you gave me last year. Okay, I know you was grateful and you was in that season of joy, but I got you somewhere else. Now how you gonna praise me?
Right.
Now how you gonna do this? So when I think of seasons, that's the first season I think about, is when I'm like so full of joy. There's nothing really going on. Ain't no hell breaking loose right now. You know, things are going really good, that in a spiritual sense. I mean, it may not look like it, but there's so much peace in me. So I try to just remind myself, you know, when next week comes and I have to speak in Charlotte, or I have to speak in the Bahamas, or wherever, I just want to be mindful of where I was, and to remember the same God that took me through the joy, he's actually still the same God doing the same thing.
Yes.
I just have to be mindful that I'm working for him and I'm not working for me. You know, it's really not about me. It's for the people watching. It's for the people that are listening. It's for me sitting down and receiving what it is that I need to be receiving. And then to understand, although hell may be breaking loose, I'm in my season of joy right now. Yeah, don't leave me alone. Don't mess with me. I'm in my season of joy. We gonna be okay. I'll talk to you when I get through. You know, in the meantime, I'm in this season, and I know that it may not last long, you know, because seasons change.
What you're saying that, because that's what I was hearing, seasons change. How do we prepare for these changing seasons? Because again, it could be hot girl summer. We know the fall is eventually is coming. All right. And then winter is coming. And then springtime again and things like that. And even listen, even the springtime can be a little rough too with all the storms that's coming through to get us to the Mayflowers, right? So how do we prepare? How do you prepare for the changing season?
You know, I'm gonna go first on this one. One of the things that I noticed that I am prepared, the way that I'm preparing, it's like God is placing people in my life to teach me. It's not so much that I know how to do it because I went through it last time. It's like, you know, like a couple of, you know, but 3 or 4 years ago when I went through a divorce, I remember, you know, a good friend of mine who had to deal with some things. You know, she's married now, things are going well or whatever, but there are times when I have to call on people, you know, not to ask them how they did it. No, I'm sorry, not to ask them how I should do it, but how did you do it? How'd you get through that? Because you know, right now I'm in this particular season, and it's kind of new to me. You know, I've lost 2 jobs, both from one from COVID, which was just a layoff, and I still was getting paid. The other one was last year, was a layoff. I was still getting paid, but it's like they were 2 different things. One I didn't want to go back to. I was glad God said go. The other one was like, wow, you know, I was so blessed when I was working there for 10 years. I was able to buy a house. I was able to do this. And so I have to make wanna, when my seasons change, one of the things I do is I try to get people that I know support me. I try to hang around people who celebrate me, but not tolerate me. You know, I want somebody who will rejoice when I rejoice, and I'm gonna rejoice when you rejoice. But I don't want nobody who's like, oh, that's what, no, because then I can't grow. I can't be encouraged. And, you know, so I'm noticing that God is placing people in my life. You know, for example, Deidre had an event last weekend, and me and my sister went to the Praise and Paint. I ain't never been to a Praise and Paint.
Yeah, I wish I could imagine.
I mean, I was so encouraged. I don't know how many women was there. I don't know, probably 50. It was a lot of people.
Please let me know when the next one is. I really wanted to go.
And so it was such amazing fellowship to where this is a season to where I feel like I need people also, you know. And so I think part of mine, feel like the way that God works with me is he brings supportive people in my life, prayer warriors, people about business. I mean, they can joke and laugh and kiki and kaka, but down at the core, their core, they are about business, you know. And so I'm kind of noticing that God is bringing people in my life. My sister travels with me everywhere I go. It doesn't matter where I'm speaking. She travels. She feels like she's my big sister, and she is. But she feels like I don't need to go by myself. She's like, you don't need to be going nowhere by yourself. But that's just her way of getting out. And, you know, and she's not a Christian. But for somebody to love to be around Christians, oh, you know, wait a minute now, that's a God thing. So I'm noticing, you know, like tonight, she came over to bring me some mail, and she was fully dressed for Good Friday. I said, girl, that's tomorrow. She said, girl, I thought you said tonight. I'm like, Good Friday.
She ready.
She was ready. And so I feel like, you know, I can feel God bringing people in my life and taking people out. Not that they're bad, but we're just not going to the same place. We're not in the same season.
Listen, you know, I'm gonna say this real quick, then that's a different thing. I always pray, this is what I pray, and me and my mother prayed the same thing. Lord, bring the right people in my life and take the ones who mean me no harm out. And we need to start doing that. Praying that he's take the ones that because we don't know what these people talking about, what they saying. Only God knows, you know, if they setting us up or what's so happy, because we don't see that, but he sees all and know all. So Lord, the ones I don't see that smiling in my face, that mean me no harm, please take them away, please. please take them out. Just remove them. All right. And sometimes I have to be careful, Lord. I mean, when I say remove them, just, take them somewhere. Don't take them out, Lord, but just remove them. Don't take them all the way out. Okay. I ain't saying, you gotta be careful. You want to go back to the Old Testament and say, don't take them all the way out. Just remove them out of my life if they make me no good, and bring the ones that you want that will help me further my ministry. But not only just further my ministry, I need to be able to be a blessing to them and help them further whatever they need to do as well. It's not all about me and you giving, but I know I give a lot. So it's time for me to sometimes receive. We pour out so much, we don't have enough people to pour into you. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's the reason why I didn't speak, because I just want to sit there and have women to pour into me as well. And before we move on, I do want to say hello to my sister Latasia Davis. That's the young lady who came with me from my church. She had a blast as well. So I want to say hey to her. And so she said, hey, ladies, if everybody can say hey to Latasia. All right. So, Miss Deidre, you want to go next? Tell me a little bit what you're thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking about the exact same thing whenever I'm going through my seasons and stuff, and life hits me. I have to admit it's who God puts in my life at that time, because even meeting Nicole Evans at the retreat, we talked so much that night, because I was actually, still feeling the emotions of losing my mother-in-law and knowing my husband was going through everything by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking to her about that and the things that she has been dealing with and how she felt when she lost her mother. And just, I mean, if she hadn't turned the TV off, we probably would have been talking to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Just connecting with people and even getting to know Nicole Smith even more. Like, we've met each other before, but just never really spent any time together talking. And even Lenisha, following her on Facebook and finally getting an opportunity to meet her. God put people in our lives at the right time. And even with Kiana doing the chair Zumba, I do Zumba all the time, but I'm having knee problems now. So that was perfect. My knee was killing me that day, but just to be able to move and not have to worry about putting so much pressure on my knees, and that brought me so much joy, because I was able to do something that brought me so much joy. And then just to, just like you said, God put people there, and then he also moved those who don't mean you any good away. Right. And I've noticed that he's doing that lately. And I was told that once before. Someone had mentioned that everybody can't go with you everywhere you go.
Right.
So and I'm beginning to realize that in certain seasons of my life, the person that was there during the last season may not be there for the next one.
Right.
So just the people that God has just put in my path, and he keep adding to it. He keep adding. It's just awesome. And that helped me, because I find so much, joy and happiness seeing how someone else is progressing, how someone else is doing well for themselves, who someone else is being elevated. I mean, I love seeing that. Yes. I love seeing that. I love supporting my sisters. I may not be able to get to every place, but I sure know how to hit that share button on Facebook. I'll share it so somebody else can see it.
I know that's right.
Yes, so somebody can see it. And it gave me so much joy to see how much fun people had on Saturday. I got so much positive feedback from that. God he just gave it to him, and I just ran with it. He put everything in place, and just to hear everybody's laughing and just having a good time, and they're painting their portraits and sending them to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just awesome. When is the next one? I'm like, I don't know. But just seeing how happy, just doing what God has instructed me to do, how happy it makes others, because you don't know what somebody else is going through.
Right.
So it's just the we all gonna go through those seasons, but just how we make our way through them.
How we prepare for them.
Yes.
Lanisha, you have anything? How do we prepare for the changing of seasons? And thank you to my cousin Tara in Philly as well. Tara Saunders, she is the sister of the young lady who came from Philly, my other cousin Trina. So that's her sister. So she's watching with us as well. So, Lanisha?
Yes, and I have to give a quick shout out to um to my hometown, Philly. That's where I was born. So I was definitely happy to meet some fellow Philadelphians and all of that good stuff.
Eagles.
So
Okay.
yeah. So yes, talk about seasons. Whoo, those winters are cold. But so yes, one of the things that I think about when it comes down to changing seasons is that we are, like when it's, and I think about it when it's cold outside, or just different things. Um, Even when it comes down to the seasons that I go through in life, I realize that I'm not the only one preparing for the season. Um,
Mm.
People around you are preparing for your season changes too. But to them, it's a mystery almost. It's a
Mm.
mystery because they don't sometimes see it coming. And when, just like Nicole said, that when they're dropping off from your life, they didn't know that you were going down different paths because
Right.
you walked together so long. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, those around you are getting to see your season, as it unfolds. But also, God is preparing for your season. And there's a different anointing that He brings, and different oil that He uses on you in different seasons of your life, because the oil that you used last season, it's not prepared for this season. Some
Mm-hmm.
oils, if you've ever had any oil lamps, or if you ever had any things that you burn off of different oils, or different types of, it was kerosene or whatever, some oils burn differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some last longer, some burn brighter, some, are better in this season or in this area than other areas. So it's all about, understanding that not only are you preparing, but you're being prepared as well. God is grooming you for that season. He
Mm-hmm.
is sending the right people in the right places at the right time in
Yeah.
order to stretch you too. The seasons are not just to show your growth, but they're also to grow you. So
Mm-hmm.
during that time, somebody's going to come along and they're going to challenge you, and not always in a way that you want to be challenged. Sometimes they can, God to pull things to the surface, because
Mm-hmm.
in order to get you to your next season, I have to pull those things out of you that don't look like what they need to in order for you to go into your next season. So I have to pull it to the surface. It's almost like, if you get a massage, they're pulling those toxins to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens, like they used to put, like certain things on you, and they would, draw it to a head, as they it can say, to pull the infection out, or to pull those things
Right.
out.
Right.
So a lot of times seasons look like they're not pretty. They're
Right.
not pretty because all of the toxic things and all of those things that are coming out of you, that you felt like, what, it's just too bad for me to get this stuff up out of me. No, you have to bring out those things so that you can be healed, so that you can
Mm-hmm.
be, just healthy enough in order to go into your next season. Maybe I might have to run that marathon. So Miss Deetra, she's getting her legs in order for that. I might have to just do these things, but in order to do that, some of those things have to come to the surface, that I don't want to look at, that I don't want to see, and that's the part of that healing, and even what it says, transformation here,
Mm-hmm.
chemistry, growth mindset. Because if you don't have a growth mindset, then you're going to be stagnant, and
I
God
tell
can't
you.
have you and use you if you are stagnant. He
Mm-hmm.
needs for you to continue to grow as He's
Right.
purposed you to do. So that's what that looks like to me.
And listen, one of the things I was hearing, for those who are watching with us, our topic is, we're just recapping the Diva Self Care Holistic Retreat, and our topic of that, or the topic or the theme of that retreat was, it is your season. Be healed, be free, and be healed, be delivered, and be set free. And so right now we're talking about the different seasons of life and how we handle those seasons, how we change with those seasons, how we prepare for those seasons. And so that's what pretty much we're talking about in our transition of different seasons. And one of the things I heard when you were talking was, people are watching us as we are transitioning through our seasons. So yes, they are preparing for us. Now, sometimes they may be preparing to see how we're going to react to this change of the season. And sometimes they prepare to see, okay, let me see if she's gonna make it. So it's not always good thinking or positive thinking as you're changing. Some people mean no good to you and they'll talk about you and things like that. But then there's some people that actually are watching you because they may be going through that same season. Let me see how she handled it. What do I do? One of the things I would say is I had a young lady to text me today and she was like, hey, I want to see how you're doing. Is everything okay? Because I have not seen your Facebook page. And for those who don't know, my Facebook page has been deleted, hacked, or whatever's going on with it. And she said, I am actually missing your positive messages that comes on your page because that's what gets me through. And she was like, I've been going through a lot of things and just watching your page and the things that you put on there, it has been helping me. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to hurry up and get this Facebook page back up and going, you know. So we never know who is actually watching us as we transition. And for those who know me, I'm very transparent. So if I'm going through a winter, I don't mind saying, hey, I'm going through this winter season. This is if you ever see some of my posts, I literally talk about how I'm feeling. Some people say, well, gosh, you shouldn't tell nobody that because you're a life coach or you shouldn't be telling. No, sometimes people need to know, even as a coach, even if you're a therapist, if you're a counselor, we go through things as well. We are struggling as well mentally, emotionally, we're struggling. But listen, this is how I came out of it. Prayed my way through. I fasted my way through. I had to get a whole different mindset. I put up affirmations on my wall and had to read positive things to myself all the time to transform my mind and not just sit there and wallow in that, die in that winter. Okay, because I'm trying to make it to the springtime. And then when we have the springtime, when seasons changing, we got different crops that actually grows in different seasons. So when the spring comes, we got to start tilting the grass and the ground and getting all that old stuff, all them grass and weeds out and get ready for the springtime to start putting in our seeds so things can grow when it's supposed to. If you put the seed in at the wrong time of the year, it's not going to grow, it's going to die. And so sometimes we move too fast and we be planting things that we don't need to be planting at a certain season, at a certain time in our life. We have to be patient. And then when we do plant the seed, it's not going to grow like the beanstalk that we read, you know, was that Jack and the Beanstalk when you put the seeds in, it just grew so quick. No, it takes time. You know, I remember when I last year I had some beans and I had my kids to grow these beans. They put, you know, they wet it in a paper towel. And every day I had them to go back and look at it. And they're like, it ain't grown yet. I said, you got to give it some chance. You got to give it a chance. We need a little sunlight, put a little water in it. And then after a while, they see that little sprout come and they get excited. And then after a while, it grew and got bigger and bigger. And so you have to be able to have the patience as we are planting during our season or as God is planting things, I'll put it like that. It's not even us, it's God planting these things through our season. And some water, some plant, some water, some give the light. So we have to be, and I'm gonna take that for me because I know I'm not the most patient. Because when I get stuff, I'm like, moo, I'm ready for it to grow. I'm ready for the Jack and the Beanstalk, you know, and it's like it's just going slowly. I'm like, okay, well, God, you said this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Why is it not working? And I'm gonna tell you one of the big things too, and then we're gonna go to Kiana. One of the big things that I know I hate the most is when I know God have given this to me, and He may have given somebody else the same thing, but theirs start to grow faster than mine. And I'm like, but I'm doing, and they may, you know, and I'm looking like, well, why is it not happening for me? Why? And I may not be ready for that season yet. I may not have my clothes. I may not have went shopping for my season yet. I still got summer clothes in the winter coming. Okay. So I'm out here with short sleeves and still got my short skirt on and my flip-flop toes out. I'm not ready yet. I haven't went shopping yet for that particular season. Springtime come, I'm ready for the spring for it to pop in, and I still got winter clothes. Dark clothes, you know, dark clothes, black clothes, the sweater still in there. I haven't even packed up the stuff that I need to pack up and put away to be ready for that new season. So sometimes life is just like I said, life is a life and you know just kind of the just revealing some things to me as we're speaking and as we're talking. It's just funny how God's just giving you like a revelation of the seasons. We look at it like summer, winter, fall, spring, sometimes autumn. We got that in between. And I mean, looking at North Carolina, it's supposed to be springtime, child. I'm still out here wearing boots. It's still cold, raining. I'm like, this bipolar weather, and we have that in our life. We may have a good up, and next thing you know, the winter come, and that good cold wind come through. You like, what is this? I am not ready. Then we get sick. We get sick and stuff. Got the cold during the summertime, and then next thing you know, pollen is everywhere. Now we got allergies hitting. I mean, we just don't know where to go with North Carolina weather. I don't know how to dress. And sometimes life is like that too. Lord, where you take? I just don't know. I'm just confused. So, um, let's talk about what are some common challenges that we face as we transition through our seasons. Kiana, what are some challenges that we face as we transition through these different seasons? I know I just gave some, just don't know how to dress.
Yeah. Yeah, not knowing how to dress, or what you thought used to fit don't fit no more when you go to put it back on the next season. For whatever reason, whether it's falling off or maybe not coming all the way up, things don't fit the right way. You also have and the same thing with people. I know we've spoken on this before, but some people don't fit anymore in that season that you're in, and so instead of trying to force that person to fit back on, we have to be able to accept and transition through that. I have a hard time letting go of things, and so sometimes you need a trusted someone near you to be like, ma'am, that still got the tag on it. You bought that in what year? Ma'am, I know that can't fit you. You need a trusted friend. So for me, the challenges and the preparing kind of go hand in hand with setting myself up with people around me that I know I can trust to help me when those challenges come, to get me back on my path. So that's kind of how I handle my challenges. Also, I don't know if this is age, grace, wisdom, been in school so long, but I've learned and been in therapy for a while, to take a step back when you get hit with a challenge, to take that step back before you react. So not reacting in that moment, but taking a step back to look at the full picture. So that's, now again, I'm human just like everybody else, watching and talking. I can't say that it always happens that way, but that's how I've been trying to handle my challenges coming through these seasons and things of that nature. Again, I'm human, and so I don't always address and handle them in the best way, but that's how I've been trying to handle mine.
That's wonderful. And thank you to my auntie, Yvette Hall out in New Mexico. She's watching in as well. She say the weather is bipolar. My cousin saying the weather is bipolar in Philly as well. That's because she's an Eagles fan, but we're not gonna go there. But we're gonna keep it there. We love to have fun. So who can tell us about their challenges as they transition through seasons, through life?
The biggest challenge I have in going through my seasons is to work on myself not to go back. Because when I hit certain seasons in life, I tend to go into a depression and isolate myself. So I have to remember, like you say, you have all sorts of affirmations up. I have affirmations up all around, my wall at work. Even in the mornings when I get up and take my medication, I have up on the wall, on my mirror, give thanks unto the Lord. I just have to do daily and sometimes more than just once a day reminders that I'm no longer where I was, that I don't have to go back and stay stuck. That's one of my biggest challenges, because sometimes whenever life hits you, it's a roadblock. Yes. It's an actual roadblock, and you can't see how to get past that roadblock. Right. You can't see how to get over that roadblock. But like Lanisha said earlier, the seasons we go through sometime are not new. We just have to remember how we got through it. And so that's one of my biggest challenges, is to not fall back into that darkness that I came from, and just continue to go forward. And sometimes, like we said, it's the circle of people that we have, and it's also the self-encouragement, the self-care, it's all by, because we grow from each season. We try to learn from each season, and we just continue to move forward. I think it's important to have that sister circle there to encourage. I think it's very important to have those affirmations, and not only have them just up on the wall, read them, reflect on them, read them over and over and over again, so you won't fall back. So that's my biggest struggle, is to keep myself from falling back into that dark place.
And do you feel like the roadblocks sometimes, let's say bumpers in the road, do you think that can be helpful sometimes as we go through seasons in life?
I do think so, because I mean, and good, I'm glad that you brought that up, because sometimes we're moving too fast. And I think sometimes it's us that we're moving too fast, and sometimes we do, like Nicole was talking about, we're yielding when we should be stopping. Then she talked about weight training, WAIT, weight training. So yes, I do feel like sometimes those roadblocks are there for a reason, for us to stop,
yes,
for us to be still and know. It's for us to do that. So sometimes it is a good thing. It is a good thing, but we have to come, we have to have the wisdom and the understanding to know that it is a good thing. And it's not, that it's to stop, to stop us totally, and to take us back. It's just to make us stop for that moment. It's just for us to yield for that moment, so we can, be still and know, and get a better ideal on the path that we need to be taking. That was good. That was good, Margie.
I try, girl. I try. Nicole, tell us about them signs you was talking about, the road sign. I think one of the things one of the things I do like that you did with your workshop, you asked us to talk about which road sign we are. And I said mine was what did I say? Mine was no U-turn. I think it was not going back. That was mine. All right, was no U-turn. Tell us a little bit about the signs that you was talking about in your workshop at the retreat.
Well, one of the signs we talked about was detour. Sometimes God has to put you on a detour because, the direction that you're going in is not going to be pretty safe. He told Paul, don't go through Macedonia. Don't go there. So he was directing him. Another sign we talked about was yield. Which some people use as a stop sign. I mean, they don't use it as a stop sign. They just go. But then some people use the stop sign as a yield. And so sometimes, even in those stop signs, we have to kind of be mindful. So the question I asked was, if you was to label yourself as a road sign, what would it be? And sometimes it all depends on what season you're in. Some seasons you just need to stop.
Yes.
Just stop. No yield. Just stop. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. So basically it is just, you just need to stop.
So when we talk about those road signs in our seasons, one thing I said, it was sometimes, when the light turned green, it's not always meant for us to go straight through, right? When Ava is sitting there, she be like, green, it's green. Why you not go? Pretty much why you not? She's my backseat driver. She already said she want to drive Sunday. That's what she said she want to drive. So I remember one time, and this happened to me twice. The light turned green, and I was about to go, and I decided not to, like right then. And no soon as I did that, someone came whizzing through, running through the red light. And if I would have went too fast, that could have been my life. And so when we think about our seasons, or when we think about life, sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes just because God said go doesn't mean that you start hitting the road when you haven't even gotten direction. He just said go. You don't even know what you're doing. You haven't even prayed over it, and what so have you, or kind of reflect on it. And I know sometimes we growing up in church, when God said go, you go. But sometimes you have to just kind of wait a little bit. And then, because you never know what's about to come at you. You really don't. Sometimes we get out there too fast and we get ran over. And then that's our life, spiritually and naturally. And so I think about that when you talked about that. That was one of the things I really love. And then you gave us a car. Now my cousin got the Mercedes. I got the gold car. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a Ford or Nissan. But she got the Mercedes. I was like, I think that was my car. That's my car. Okay. So even in that, maybe I couldn't handle Mercedes. Maybe the car I had, what he gave me, is the car that I was supposed to get. I can't handle Mercedes. All right. I may get too big head with the Mercedes. Think I'm all that with the Mercedes. Maybe that's why I didn't get it. So we think about all those things, but I was about to steal her car. But I got to go.
You still talking about it.
Yeah, Stephanie out there, she's looking, she watching, she got to go, she got the Mercedes. So but I love that analogy that you did, even with the car and the road signs. I actually really look, because I never really looked at life as a road sign. So now every time I'm driving, I'm looking at these road signs like, is that where I'm at right now? Is that my sign? Or what's I
Right.
really do. I take everything that I listen to, ladies, and like I said, y'all poured into me. I love it. So transitioning, um, let's move on and let's talk about, what are some misconceptions about certain life seasons that you might want to address? Kiona, what are some misconceptions you think happens when we think about the different seasons in life?
Um, Sometimes I think we can think of different seasons as a death, where it's not a death, it's a birth,
Mm,
or a regrowth, or a restart. Speaking from the lens of getting divorced, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like somebody's died. Ain't nobody died. Not everybody's divorce is upsetting. It could be a chance to restart, set new ground, and all of that. So
mm,
I think that's what came to mind. Is it's not always a death.
I like that. Not always a death. Bridges, Miss Lanisha, some misconceptions of these different seasons in life.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions um, can be, and I can speak personally. One of the misconceptions that I had about seasons is that it's going to always look like it did the last time.
Mm,
Um, it doesn't always look like it did the last time, and I think that it was so powerful that you mentioned it earlier. Is that North Carolina weather seemed a little bit offset
mm-hmm,
because it's supposed to be springtime, right? But we're getting rain and it is cold and it's all of this. So the misconception is that just because the season has changed doesn't mean it's going to look like what you think it is.
mm,
Sometimes you have to prepare for the unexpected, even
mm-hmm,
within the season that should be this, but it's not. It should be sunny outside, but they just call for snow. So how do I take what I've learned from winter and bring it into spring? How
mm,
do I do that? Because I wasn't preparing for that. So now, or think about when you are in where you are or where you live, and you're traveling and you don't really know how the seasons change over there or what
mm-hmm,
it can look like
mm-hmm,
over there. So the unexpected abruptness, because I've transitioned from one place to another.
right.
I've gone from having my parent to being parentless.
Mm,
I've gone from, you know, just like I think Kiana just spoke on, I've gone from being a wife to now I'm single again. Or I've
mm-hmm,
gone from being, the person that has worked in this career, like Miss Nicole was talking about,
mm-hmm,
for a number of years. But now, what does it look like when I'm in the same season, but
mm,
stuff has changed, even within that season, that I
wow,
did not prepare for the rain when
wow,
it was supposed to be sunny. I
mm-hmm,
I I couldn't, because I couldn't see it coming.
wow,
So within that, I think the misconception too is that our faith can't stay strong during the time that the unexpected happens, because we get to the point where, God, you didn't plan this. Well, maybe he did.
mm-hmm,
Maybe he did. It doesn't look like what God would do, but his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So sometimes he's looking to say, you know what? I believe in what I put in you so much that I'm getting ready to throw you a curveball, but I
Mm,
know that you know how to catch
mm-hmm. Wow.
because I'm the one that taught you how to catch. When you were growing, you used to
Mm-hmm.
drop the ball. But even though I threw you this curveball, you kept right on going. You
Mm-hmm.
kept right on moving. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times the misconception is that if I'm not prepared for it, I can't get prepared even in being unprepared for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest misconception in that I can't be real in this season. I can't be real. I have to let everybody think that everything is good.
Oh, yes.
I can't be vulnerable. I can't show my wounds. I can't show my scars. I can't show the battle I've been through
Mm-hmm.
because it would make me look or appear weak, or I'm supposed to be the leader here. I'm not supposed to go through anything. I'm not supposed to be able to say that I'm scared.
Mm.
I'm not supposed to say that, I'm not sure about this. But the misconception is that even if you are in the lead, you still have to be able to be real,
Yep.
to be
Yep.
open, and to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, because that
Mm-hmm.
is the only way that I'm going to pass from what I'm going through to being able to come out of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one reason why I just started this holistic journey and this retreat is because it's an opportunity for us to be real. You know, we go through we attend so many different women conferences and things like that. And some women, when they go to a conference, especially at our churches, they don't feel comfortable enough to feel real because people start to say, "Hey, you don't have enough faith. You need to have faith in God." And it's almost like I can't be real to say I lost faith at one point in God. And it's like, what? You did that, you know? And it's like you can't be real, so people kind of clam up and don't share. And so I wanted this retreat to be where you're open and nobody is. I don't think anybody felt judged in what they was going through because I didn't want that. If you was gonna do that, I'm gonna just ask you don't even come because that's not what this place is for. Everybody has been through something. Everybody has failed. Everyone has fallen 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 times. We get back up and we are going through life in, and we still fall. And you know, one of the seasons that you talk about is for me was death was my season I went through because I was not expecting and was not prepared for the death that happened in 2020. My father's passed. I was not prepared for that. Me and my dad would we just had a ride to the apartment and we was laughing kikiing, and then 2 days later gone. And so I was not prepared for that at all, and I did drop the ball and almost dropped it and never picked it back up. But it took coaches, it took team members to say, you can do this, you got it. My coaches, who are my coaches? Those who pray for me, who's my team members, women like you who come and say, you got this, you can do it. It's okay. You dropped the ball. We know you practice. It happens. And either I can say, well, I'm done. I'm gonna throw in the towel. I'm not gonna play anymore, or I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna practice all over again. So I won't make that same, almost say mistake, but go through that again. Or I know how to handle that curveball the next time it comes to me, and I know how to hit it out the park because I'm practicing. Or I know now I know what it looks like. But that was a season that I was definitely not expecting. That was the springtime that all of a sudden this cold wind and snow came in, and I was not expecting that. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I'll be honest with you. I was lost. I think, none of us, I would just say my whole family, we was just pretty much taken aback. So that was a season for me and my family. I mean, cousins and nephews of his and sisters. That was a season that I would never forget and stuff. And so even with my grandmother passing, that a couple of about 60 days before that, but it was just a season that, I know my mother, she lost her mother and then her husband, 60 days later, that's a lot, you know, especially when you think that you are ready and then you find out you're not. That also can be like, oh my God, I thought I was there and I'm not. Now I got to go to the drawing board or what so have you. How do I get through this season? So, or one of the things I always say is, I done everything that you asked me to do, God, and I prayed for this, and you still allowed that to happen. But you said, if I ask what I will, it shall be given. But you didn't give it. So now what? So I went through a season where I was like, man, forget church. Like, and I grew up in church, pastor's daughter and everything. So when all that season came, I was just like, you know what? I, I see everybody else. And then when you hear a testimony that it's the same situation as yours, and you hear how Lord provided for them, that same thing that you went through. And I promise you, I went to church and my pastor had, gave a praise report. Heart stopped. They prayed and prayed, and next thing you know, the monitor came on. Just for a short minute, I was like, why you couldn't do that for me and my dad? Why couldn't you have done that for me? And then he has to remind you of the other seasons that you went through, that he actually provided for you, that, those provisions that he done for you. You have to go back and, like you said, he reminds you of those things. And what's so happy, you still like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Just this one time you said no, okay. But all the many times that you said yes, just this one time we said no. I think Beyonce had a song about that. This one time I say no and you pouting, but I done said yes to everything else. you know. But you just one time, and then a lot of times it'd be the times that you can take us out of here, for our season. All right. Anyone else would like any misconceptions they would like to address?
I don't know if it's exactly a misconception, but I was just sitting here thinking as Lanisha was talking and stuff, there are times that, we look at the seasons like summer, winter, fall, all that, 3 to 4 months at a time, but sometimes we can hit multiple seasons in one day.
We can.
Yeah, we can hit multiple seasons in one day. I was just sitting here thinking about that because, you can be, you could be in that season of joy, like Nicole talked about. You'd be in that season of joy, and all of a sudden something to happen. Then you're in that season of sadness, and then you're in that season of, in between. Then you're in that season of wearing that mask because people are watching you, trying to see how you're handling certain situations and stuff. Because like we talked about earlier, that everybody that's with you is not for you. They looking to see how you're going to handle your situation, looking to see how you're going to handle your season. So just sitting here thinking about that, we can go through multiple seasons just in one day. But I think I know with the retreat, it allowed us to be free. It allowed us to express ourselves. It allowed us to, if we were in that season, that season of sadness or loneliness, there was moments that you could break free. Like you said, people running and we're jumping and we're we were there. I know there was some breakthroughs in there, the tears, the hugs. We were all there to get it. We weren't only there pouring out, we were there to receive. And so, it wasn't a misconception, but I just sat here and I thought about that, the multiple seasons that we can go through just in that one day, just that one day.
And Tara says, that's the thing, we could never be ready for the unexpected in our lives. That's the crazy part of life, the unknown and the unexpected. We never can be ready for it. And like you said, it can be springtime, like at North Carolina. One day it's spring, we got our toes out. We're like, yes, hot girl summer, yes, I'm ready. And then this weekend, tomorrow, it'd be like the rain just come at night and it's like freezing. And you already had your outfit ready for tomorrow because you knew it was going to be warm. Had the outfit ready. Now you got to go in there and you're like, oh my God, it's too cold. Now I got to pull the coat back out. I got to pull the sweater out. We just never know. All right. Anybody else on that? And it's getting good. I know it's supposed to get off at 8:30, but it's getting good.
I did want to say a misconception that I just learned. I just learned that about 3 years ago, I learned that one of the misconceptions, and I was told that it's not good, but I found out that it is good. Isolation. Now, isolation can be negative if you're isolating yourself and don't want to be around people. But I had been in an isolation and I'm just really now coming out of it. But it was an isolation of nobody calling me. I was wanting to do things. Nobody coming over. You know, I had just got divorced. I felt like folks should be saying something to me and being there for me, and, you know, let's go do something. And it's like, God had me purposely isolated for me.
Right.
Because I had never been by myself physically. I had been married, I'd been divorced. Then I was raising 4 kids by myself.
Wow.
I was just raising the kids. And then finally they got old enough to go to college and they were gone. And then I get married again. And then I get divorced. And my mom was with me. But never had I been physically by myself. And God said, I got to put you in isolation because we need to talk. We need to be right here.
Yes.
And we need to talk. And we talked for about 2 years. And it was the best talk and best isolation that I had ever had. Wow. And as I began to come out of it, it was almost like one of the things that I think about is God's plan for me didn't change because of my choices. Everything that I did, every choice that I made was already in the plan. So he's not going to fix his plan to change just because I did something wrong. I made a mistake or I did whatever. His plan never changed.
Right.
This was his plan all along. And so being isolated and by myself, I'm like, well, this can't be good. This can't be healthy. And God said, this is healthy. Right. I'm bringing health back into you. I need you to be by yourself. Now, I never stopped speaking. I never stopped going places. I never stopped doing that. So nobody knew I was really isolated. Right. But I knew it because normally I'm with my friends. I'm going out. So as time comes and God is, I guess, feel like I am able and ready to do it because I didn't know when the time was going to break. And then I'm getting called. Nicole, I forgot to tell you, girl, we're going out. Come on. Can you come out? Can you meet us there at 7 o'clock? Then I get the thing from Deidre. We having this paint and praise. I'm like, look at what? And it's like from everywhere. And then last year, you know, I got this speaking engagement in Myrtle Beach, and then I got here, and then I got this, and it's like now we right here. But the whole purpose of my isolation was so that from time to time, I've learned how to isolate myself because I'm working on my time management right now. Yes. And God said, every now and then, just stop. Just stop. I just need you to stop. Just stop. And I need you to chill. And we need to just sit back. You know, every now and then, you don't have to have a conversation with him. No. Just rest in him. And like, it's all good, Lord. You know, today we did such and such. And, you know, it might be a one-sided conversation for a minute. And then God's like, okay, good. Now go to sleep. Don't you stay up late trying to study and go to sleep. So it's like, I feel like sometimes isolation is a misconception as if it's something negative. But he had me, I've never been isolated like this before. I've never not went places. You know, I mean, as far as the speaking, but I've never not been with my friends. But what he was telling me is, they ain't all your friends. Ooh. They ain't all your friends. Ooh. Okay. Now I'm gonna let you go out with the ones that I want you to go out with. I'm gonna let you spend time with the ones but the ones that, the reason why you're isolated is because you can't keep going and doing what you were doing before. Yes. They're not your haters or anything like that. They're just not on the same page. They're not going in the same direction. And so he had me isolated, I know, for at least 2 years. So I believe I just came up out of it like maybe last year. But it was a good thing. And it has given me such a peace. So when things happen, I'm able now to quickly take a thought captive and make it obedient. I'm able to quickly do something like, okay, no, I can't think about that. I can't rehearse things in my mind. I can't go back to whatever because of this. And when it happens, the first thing, stop. Just stop. Stop. No, not yield. Not look to see if it's safe to move. Stop in your tracks. Don't think about it again till tomorrow. That's something, it's kind of like when you're trying to lose weight. My daughter is trying to lose weight and it's working. She's doing a great job, but you have to discipline yourself to do certain things. Yes. Like she's not your whatever. She's not trying to get on no diet or nothing like that, but she wants to learn how to eat, how to do this, how to do that. And she kind of wants to learn. So because we're not used to something, now we've got to discipline ourselves to say, okay, I'm going to try to do that at least 3 times today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like water. I don't like water, but I need it. I know I need it. So I've got to make myself drink water. So I just take a little thing with me. If I can get this down just today, I'll be fine. Now, next week, we might try a little bit more, but I'm not used to it because I just don't like it.
Right.
But I know I need it. I know I need it, and I've been accustomed to not getting it. So I've made excuses. Well, green tea is good. Well, this is good. That is good. But now I have to, after I've come out of this isolation, I now have to kind of be mindful. But you know what? It allows me to listen more. I can hear what Lanisha's saying. I can hear what Margie's saying. I can hear what I can't remember the yoga's lady's name. Kiana?
Yoga.
Yeah. And I can hear Deidre. I can hear. I'm not thinking about what I'm gonna say next. I'm actually listening. And I think God was saying, you need to stop because your mind just keep going, going. I need you to stop and listen. You don't even ever have to respond. So that was my misconception of seasons.
Me as an elementary teacher, and first I would say my aunt Yvette, she says she loves what she's hearing, is putting things in perspective for sure for her. So that's a blessing. It seems like as soon as I come through the door, right, you have like 30 students trying to talk. Miss Play, Miss Play, Miss Play, Miss Play.
Yeah.
Miss Play, Miss Play. And I'm like, yes, okay, what you want? Okay, hold on. And I mean, when we change classes, as soon as they change class, Miss Play, I'm like, listen, wait, go sit. Give Miss McLean a few minutes because she just got finished listening to other kids calling her name 50 times. Give me, not you, but give me a 10-minute timeout. I need a 10-minute timeout just for me. So I can clear what I've talked about already with the first class. And it will give me time to get my mind right for this next class. Because each class is different. There's a new dynamic in each class. So now I got to prepare my mind for this next class. And then when I get the next class that comes in, I got to prepare my mind because it's a totally different dynamic. And so sometimes in life, we have to do that. Like you said, we have to stop and just pause for a little bit because we have different dynamics, which is going to be happening in our life as seasons are changing. So we got to mentally prepare for that. We can't keep just running from season to season to season to season to season to season to season, and we have not. And even in the spring, when the spring comes, we got spring cleaning. So, we got what we call now spring break. We got spring break. It gives me a chance to just sit down for a little bit, relax, and figure out what to do next. And sometimes that's what we have to do within this, even in my journal, or either in, Deidre's book or Nicole's book, or Kiona has a book. Well, everybody here, I think, has a book. Yes, even in Jim's has a book. We literally have to sometimes sit down and write to ourselves, and that's what this book that I have that you see behind me, that's what this book is about, For the Love of Me. Do we love ourselves enough, loving ourselves again, to be able to see ourselves again, to be able to see what season we are in, prepare for that next season, see what are the things that we lacked in, well, not necessarily lack, but see some of the things that we need to improve on ourselves in order to move to the next level. And the people that you don't supposed to have, I hate to say it, we're going to have to cut the cord. And, we're climbing up this mountain, and some of them become dead weight. We're going to have to cut the cord. I hate to say it. They may not make it. And you got to keep going because you got to save your life. A lot of times when we are trying to save somebody from drowning, they fighting and fighting and fighting. And so you want to drown, you're going to have to let them go. And it's kind of sad to say that, and it sounds selfish. But you have to save your life or you're both going to die in it. And that's not what you want. Spiritually, you don't want to die in whatever you're going through. And Tara said, my sister didn't like, okay. So she was like, until the doctor said, my sister didn't like water. My mother-in-law didn't like water either until the doctor said that the kidneys needed. So she said, I hear you. My aunt said it's a good book, by the way, and kudos to you. Thank you so much, Auntie. there in New Mexico. And I hate to leave because I know I said I was gonna keep y'all to 8:30. I don't want to keep you too long. Some of y'all have to go to work tomorrow, not me, because it's my spring break. So so before we go, I just want to know what can mindful practice, or let me just ask it, what role do self-care play in managing your stress through your transition? How do you overcome that with your self-care? What are some things that you do for self-care? All right, I'm gonna go with Kiana since she's our yoga instructor and see what she does for self-care.
All right, I'm gonna try to be fast. So I do yoga, massages, brunches, cooking, baking, finding little things that are fun that I can do within 5 minutes and adding it into my schedule. That's how I've found self-care to work for me right now in this season.
All right, thank you. Nicole?
One thing that I have learned to do just recently is I've got to take time out for myself. I am just time management. So I've taken this book. I don't know if anybody has seen this big book before. It is on Amazon. I'm not sure who writes it. I'm not sure who the author. Oh, that's our Margie. My bad. So just so you know, I have been in this book since the day after we left, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't write in the books, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it has made me think about myself in ways that I've not, and I don't mean in a negative kind of way. I don't mean in a way that's conceited, but to think about myself because God thinks about me. But it makes me ask some hard questions. And so I've decided to take some time and just chill. No phone calls, no TV, nothing. And that's a good thing for me because I am a mover. So that's part of what I've been doing to try to help me with some self-care.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the plug. I appreciate it. All right. Lanisha?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things for me for self-care is realizing that self-care is more than just an outside affection. It's an internal affection. Learning how to love on you. When you get to those moments where you feel like, self-love is being able to say to yourself that I forgive you
Mm-hmm.
for all the things that you've done
Mm-hmm.
that you felt like that you just could not recover from.
Yeah.
I love the person that I see. I love even who you used to be when you felt like you weren't this person that you've become today. So it's really loving on yourself like you would be loving on someone else. You
Right.
would tell them that you're proud of them. Turn that to an internal factor of saying, I'm proud of you. And then defining why you are. And that was one of the things that we were able to do because of this beautiful journal that you have, is that I realized that I don't just need to write one letter. I need to write a continuous letter to myself.
Right. Exactly.
Because what I may be proud of this year, I may not be proud of next year, or I may be, more proud or something else to be proud of. Because if I continue to have a continuous conversation with me, maybe sometimes you won't lose yourself.
Right.
You get lost because you don't talk to you as much as you talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't edify yourself. That song that says sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Let me love myself
Yes.
like I love other people. And if I'm not loving other people correctly, let me learn how to love them by loving myself.
Yes.
And then looking at it in a way of, how does God love me? He says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He says I'm wonderful. So why can't I love myself like he loves me?
Exactly.
So those are some of the self-care things. And then I also love to get my hair done, nails done. I love jewelry. I love all of those things. I love to do all of that stuff. It's not just a thing that we came up with because we did pageantry and some modeling and all of that kind of stuff. You love on yourself, and even if you don't feel good, go ahead and look good, because then you'll bring yourself up to that moment. And even if it's just a pair of jogging pants and a t-shirt, baby, put your hair back in the ponytail. throw on you some Vaseline on your face and say, you know what, grandma, grandpa, mom, and daddy made a beautiful baby. Let me go ahead and just
I
show
know
off my
that's right.
next
I
so
know
we
that's
can do
right.
that too.
Shout out to my grandparents, Margie McLean and Yvonne Ray. Shout out to my grandparents, Glenn Ray, Angus McLean,
Yes, they make some
Mr.
beautiful
Melvin.
grandbabies.
Yeah, got to
Yes.
shout out. Shout out. I wish my granny could see me. She passed when I was a little younger. I was her firstborn grandchild, Yvonne. And I wish she was here to see me now. So definitely wish she was here to see me, and my grandfather too. So wish both of them was here to see me now. Deetra, what you do self-care?
Well, I'm readjusting my self-care since I'm not able to do Zumba right now. I normally do Zumba 3-4 days a week. So that was a big outlet for me. But so I'm a TV-aholic, but I'm an Andy Griffin, the Golden Girls, Sanford and Son. I Love Lucy. So
Take it
people
back,
wonder
take it back.
how can you watch that boring old stuff? But it's dry humor, dry fun that it helps me relax. It really, really does help me relax. I spend time with the grandchildren, going to t-ball practice, football practice. Sometimes it's just coming home and just sitting a little bit. Sometimes it's just sitting doing nothing. I love sitting and watching my husband just sit and watch TV, or I come home and he has dinner prepared for me and I'll sit and eat and just, watching TV and just conversating with him. I really love what we did the other day. He has to minister Sunday. So we was going through the Bible and talking about, things that he was going to preach on and stuff. It's just small things like that. The intimate time with him is great. Intimate time with my grandchildren. And then just for me, just coming home, relaxing, sometimes going to bed at 8 o'clock with the TV off. So just, I'm readjusting and finding new ways to self-care. I'm always, in the word all day long, off and on all day long, but sometimes it's just totally relaxation, just relaxing the whole body. So I'm enjoying the place that I'm at now, but I cannot wait to get into For the Love of Me. I cannot wait. And I'm looking to start that on April 1st because I had to get some things out the way so I won't get distracted. But I do love what Lanisha said, what we did at the retreat. That letter we wrote to ourselves. I've never done that before. And it actually brought tears to my eyes because I never realized how proud I was of myself, of some things that I had accomplished. I did not realize how proud I was when I got the writing. I said, oh, I need another whole sheet, but I never realized how proud I was of the accomplishments that I had made. And if you have not gotten that journal, I'm gonna put this plug in. If you have not gotten, just that one page alone affected me, but I can only imagine
Nicole
getting into the book. Thank you, Nicole. I cannot imagine actually getting into the book and actually doing the exercising and stuff. So I'm excited about it. I am so excited about it. So thank you for this opportunity. We have had an awesome retreat. Can't wait to next year myself. I'm excited for it. And just the new connections, the new friendship, the new spiritual, I call them divine connections. Yes, I call them divine connections, and I just cannot wait. So I'm excited.
For myself, for self-care, one was writing this book was for me because I had to really think about the different things I need to, write about myself as well, and the things I need to look inside myself, self-gratitude, loving ourselves, knowing that I'm enough, no matter what anyone else says, learning that I'm special, and just even sitting down thinking about it. You'll notice in the book as well, at every day, it's 31 days. You start off first just talking about what you think self-love is, because a lot of times we don't know what self-love is. But you'll notice each day has a quote, and at the end, it tells you something to do for yourself, for self-care. So it's like just go and watch your favorite movie, or buy your own flowers. Go walking, listen to your favorite music. So every day it gives you a task of something to do, and at the end of each week you have another task, whether it be create a yoga routine, a 10-minute stretch yoga routine, and you had to do that. I think there was one in there where you was to do was to do a vision board for yourself, or something like in there. I think it's one where you just stick a picture in there of the best smile that you have. Stick a picture. So those type of things that you have in there, and you have some affirmations, write affirmations about every aspect of your life. I don't even think I even thought about doing that. Just everything you can think of is like an affirmation wheel that you have in there, and just write affirmation. And then there's some note pages in case you something else you could think of. And so I thought when I did that, it was very intentional, even just putting the chapters in, because it's a progression. It's really a journal, but it's really a journey to start from here, and you should end at the end, and your whole life should change by the end of this book. And so I'm going to be starting it myself, as well. Actually started doing this spring break. I'm like, I know they like, dang, she didn't start her own book, but I was like, I need to sit down and digress as well, and have the spring break where there's no kids. I can go and walk somewhere. And my self-care used to be walking. I'm getting ready to start that back. And a lot of times when I'm walking, I'm listening to music. Sometimes I'm talking to myself in the head, but I'm actually talking to the Lord, and He's just revealing some stuff to me as well. And so we need that time, that quiet time, like Nicole said, just to get away as well. So I want to live my life intentionally. I want to be intentional, because I think I've wasted a lot of time with the wrong people, waste a lot of times doing the wrong things. So I want to just definitely be intentional with everything I do. So before we go, because we at the end, I hate the movie. We might have to do a part 2 later, but and someone told me to keep this going maybe like once a week, just a quick 30-minute, and I may try to do just a 30 minutes where we come on the Divas Talk, and we just talk about different topics, every 30 minutes, just for 30 minutes a week, and just to have that out, because what we're talking about, people are watching, and they actually are, they're getting stuff out of what we're saying, because they never really thought about what we're talking about. So just for a couple of announcements, do any of the ladies have any announcements for your business that you would like to? I always like to plug in, if anybody have anything, want to talk about their book as well on this platform. So Deetra, you want to share your book on this platform? You muted.
Sorry about that. I am Deetra D. Richards is how I'm listed on Facebook. It's Deetra D. Richards. I am an author. My solo book is Not Your Average Girl Next Door. It is found on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. It's basically the story of my life, how I overcome. I went from tragedy to triumph. And there it is. There it is. Nicole got it.
I got my copy too.
Yes, and it's not your average girl next door. So as Nicole stated earlier, my ministry is Saved by God's Grace Ministry, and we just did a paint and praise this weekend, and I'm so thankful for the turnout. I had close to 40 people there, so I'll thank God for that. I am working towards something else, my women's conference in September the 14th. More information to come on that, but you can definitely look me up on Facebook. Again, it's Deetra, D as in David, ETRA, middle initial D as in David, last name is Richards. That's how I'm listed on Facebook, and I always keep Facebook updated as much as I can on what I have coming up. So thank you so much.
All right, next, Nicole.
I am the first thing I want to say is we have a Bible study coming up starting Saturday at New Life Bible Church. It is a 5-week Bible study called Breathe. Breathe. It is by Priscilla Shire. She will be, I'm just the facilitator. She will be the one speaking on video. So if you haven't got your book, it's okay. You still have time to get it. Because Saturday we're going to be in the book, but most of your work is going to be done at home. So I just want to encourage it's open to all the women. So bring your mama, your cousin, your friend, family, anybody that feel like they need to breathe. Breathe. And it's going to be for the next 5 weeks, starting the 30th, and it's going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock. And you have the rest of your day to yourself. So it's 8 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the cafe at New Life Bible Church, 1420 Hope Loop Road in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Also, I would love for you to visit my website, Opened Palms, opened with an ED at the end, openpalms.com, and just kind of check out some of the books, check out some of the blogs. The book, I don't even actually have any right next to
I don't
me
know if
right.
you can see it, but I do have Shauna. I don't know if you can see it. This is the passion fruit I have. So
Okay. And you know what? That is so sad because they probably in here somewhere. But there is a forgiveness series and it's novels. So right now I'm in the process of finishing up it's in print, but it is the workbook to go to the forgiveness series book. So I'm going to be introducing that one and probably teaching that. And then I have the book coming out called Your Spiritual Diet, and that has a workbook to go with it too. So just visit me on openpalms.com.
I love that. All right. Anisha, tell us a little bit about your book and your business.
Yes. So my business is the acronym is GEMS, but it's growth, empowerment, motivation, and support. And it's truthfully something where um it is it is about every part of you. It is truthfully about every part of you. And it is life coaching on your own terms. And the reason why I say that is not that we are not there, that we don't have planned things for you. We have programs, we have different services for you. But just like you can go to the restaurant and you may not want the side that they have, you may be able to get something else, or you have a package, or you want to add something to it. There's nothing like an add on. People get excited for add ons. So we put you in the driver's seat to be able to give you what we have and to provide to you the things that we have. But there's nothing better than getting what you actually need. So keeping that in mind, there's nothing like a plan that comes together that's cohesive, that says this is what we offer, but this is also we have the opportunity to provide you the things that you need so that you can get exactly what you want. So I'm a master certified life coach, and that's exactly what I was talking about. However, everybody does not want coaching all at one time. So we have programs where you are able to sign up for different self-paced courses as well, so that you can do things at your own pace, but you're still able to reach out to us. And if you want life coaching kind of in a book that gives you kind of a pre look or preview into that, hopefully you're able to see it. I'm going to turn off the blur so that hopefully you're able to see it. But I'd like to say that everyone is a gem, no matter whether you man, woman, boy, or girl. Why? Because a lot of us has been under pressure, and that's how diamonds are formed. That's how gems are birthed. That they are formed under pressure. So if you get the opportunity to be under pressure, hey, don't worry about it. That's exactly when you are truthfully out there and you are being able to become your best self. Because even though that, hey, a diamond that is not refined is really rough. So sometimes you may not be for everybody, but if you think about it, so is the word of God. It's a two-edged sword. So just think of yourself being an offspring of your father. If you kind of cut a little bit, it may not feel good, but it may be for their making. It may be because sometimes in order to grow, you have to be pruned as well. Sometimes you got to cut back those hedges and those bushes. So, but there's also a journal that is along with that. You have a gems journal, there's scriptures, there's different questions that it does ask you so that you're able to map out that plan for yourself. You're able to, found that newfound life, that if you feel like you're stagnant, go ahead. We've talked about it all night. Start over. Start
Right,
over.
right.
The one thing that I can say is that I love everything that is around me as well. So if you don't get a chance to pick up my book or my journal, there's a journal from Margie McLean. There's a book from Nicole Smith. There's a book from Dietrich. There's a book from Kiana. So I say, go ahead and get it all. Get it all. Reach out to everyone. I say, go ahead and get everyone's book, because the purpose in doing that is that I'm not limited in my growth. So
Right,
neither should I be limited in my knowledge.
right,
Everything here is for the taking.
right.
So go ahead and get what you need out of it, because you just might become the person that you want to become. So
Right.
that's what we're all about, becoming the person that you want to become. And definitely, we pray that that aligns with what God has for you as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Kiana, tell us a little bit about your business and your book.
Okay, so my book is The Epiphany, Sex, Money, and Support with the dollar sign, so it's the triple S's. It's about my divorce and my non-negotiables going forward. So you get all of my epiphanies from going through the separation, the divorce, and then you also get the story. As if we were sitting over a hot cup of tea, hot cup of coffee, and just having some talking, right? Some friendship talking. So that's what my book is about. I do have a meditation journal that will be out in the next month or so. So that is coming out as I'm getting into my yoga. I was at the retreat. I just did my first group class since being postpartum. And then I've got two more. I got another retreat May 18th that I'll be at here in Charlotte. Then I'll be at the community baby shower in April 27th, hosted by Miss Margie McLean there and her foundation. I've got some Mama and Me yoga coming up here in Concord in April as well. Maybe some kid yoga coming up, and then some private classes as well. You can find me mostly on Instagram is where I am. So I'm Nia underscore the author. If you're looking for things of that nature. Otherwise it's upper room underscore healing for all of my yoga things. My book is available through my publishers. Blue Shades Publishing. That's the only places you can get it. Went small and went Black owned. So that is where you can get my book. But yeah, so that's me. I'm out here doing what I can, and that is my self-care, doing all of those things. I'm also an advocate for families with young children that have special needs or suspect special need. So I definitely can help. That has been something that has come out of everything that I've done. I end up helping a lot of families find and navigate their way through that system. So I'm a resource there as well.
So as you can see out there, YouTube land, listen, we have some dynamic women that's on this panel who came and spoke with us. We're missing one who couldn't be here, which was Dr. Dormant, Macmillan Dormant. She could not be on with us, but we have some dynamic women. I think I picked right for the women to join. Anytime I do these retreats, I always ask the Lord to send me the right people. And so, and a lot of times I met some of these, I didn't even know these ladies. I met them accidentally, I would say. I met Kiana through my organization. Nicole, I think the first time I met her, she came and was vending at one of my events. That's how I met her. Deidre came in. I had an adult like book fair, and that's how I met her. As soon as I seen her book and read it, I said, "Oh no, I need her to come and speak." So I said, "Can you come and speak?" And she was like, "Wait, what?" So Lanisha, I met her through Facebook land or through modeling. I can't remember exactly how we met, but I think you came on and read a book. I think that's what it was. Someone tagged you through my just crazy how I meet these young ladies, and now we all are just connected in a way that is outstanding. And again, like I said, this is my sister circle, and I pray that we stay in. This is not the last time that we talk, which is not. We support each other. Lanisha, she has an organization. She's doing some leadership stuff. Dietrich doing some great stuff. So I will be at her women's conference, which I went last year, and it was awesome. Or last year, it was awesome. Had a great time. I just try to make sure I support everyone. And so, again, if you need to also do a class, Nicole does a class as well, Passion Fruit and some other classes that she does. So we're going to get ready to get off here, but I just have a few announcements. Margie McLean Foundation, my nonprofit, will be having a community baby shower called the Bundle of Joy. And that will be April 27th. There, we try to provide parents, mothers, and fathers. We don't want to keep the fathers out. We do want to make sure that we promote that there are fathers that are there in their child's life. That whether they're married to the mother or not, they're still there. So we want to promote that as well. But this is an opportunity for us to feed into parents who may be in need. We give them tons of things that they need to get them started as a new parent or to continue as a parent, as well as we have community organizations that come in and give them some additional help as well. We have Millamont coming, which is a college. We have a young lady who's coming through to talk about, um, um, she's a doula. She's going to be coming in talking about advocate for yourself. We have someone coming in, Blue Shield, I believe, is coming in. We have someone to come and they're going to give you information about insurance, having life insurance, starting a banking account for yourself. We just got tons, and we having a fashion show at this one. This will be the first fashion show. So we're having a fashion show as well. We're gonna be doing games. So it's like a regular baby shower, but with you taking home something besides just free stuff. You're taking some things to further help you as well. Also, we're going to be starting my organization, National Council of Negro Women, Fayetteville area section will be starting also doing some financial literacy. Next month is financial literacy month. So we want to have some information about how you can come out of the rough of your finances or to further your finances. So we are looking for, if there's a speaker out there, talk about how to buy your first home, how to start your first business, anything that you need. We will be having some speakers for that as well. And I also have a Divas Empowerment Bible study that happens on Fridays, every other Friday. We have one this Friday coming up. It starts at 8:30 because we do have some women who are in Tennessee, so they're an hour behind us. But this is the same way we do. It's not for me to teach Bible study. It's actually for us to actually have a discussion about the word. And it's on different topics. So it's just topics about your season. It's topics about when God doesn't answer the way you want him to answer, and we just talk about it and we are real with it. So if you are interested in that, you can also contact me at Chemistry Growth Mindset if you like to come on that at gmail.com, if you like to come on and just be a part of a discussion and stuff. We don't have a minister or anyone that's going to be just teaching as like regular Bible study. It's just pretty much just talking and being real. And we have a game night as well sometimes too. So come on and have fun with us and meet some other women outside of the state, people you don't know. We have a good time. So ladies, did you enjoy yourselves?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely enjoyed it. This was absolutely wonderful. And Margie, if I can just real quick, it was getting so good till I literally forgot to tell people how they could contact me. But my website is www.growthempowermentmotivationandsupport.com, and also you can find the book on Amazon. But I enjoyed this tonight. It was almost like just a continuation of the retreat. Just keep carrying it over. I'm not ready to leave, but just keep carrying it over into the next time and the next time. I'm here for it.
Yeah, we end up going past 30 minutes. But I will say, just gonna make this announcement that our next retreat is actually going to be a cruise. It's going to be a cruise. So that we're looking for it to be in May this time to celebrate. In May. We're looking for May. And so we're looking at May, probably the first week of May. We don't want to do it around Mother's Day, but we want to be able to celebrate you as a mother as well. And that will be your Mother's Day getaway as well. So we're looking at the first week in May. I haven't gotten the dates together. But we are looking to have a cruise. I haven't picked where. I know some people say the Bahamas, so I'm looking to see where we want to go, but it's going to be a cruise. So go ahead and start saving up. I'm putting that plan in. I'm hoping I have it within the next month. I have the information so we can start that. So if you missed this one, it's fine. But please, you want to make the next one, okay? You want to make the next one. You never know. I may have to say cruise. Yes, this will be my first cruise. So
me too.
You want to make it, and let's have fun. And we get out there and get some sun, enjoy the seasons wherever we're going to be. I'm looking forward to that. So please get ready, get ready. My birthday is May 12th, so that's the reason why I'm doing around it. So on my birthday, so
May 24th.
May 24th. Okay, so we're gonna be celebrating some birthdays. Okay,
May the 6th.
I am looking forward to this happening. So go ahead and start thinking about your calendar, thinking about taking some time off. Hopefully, like I said, I'll get it in within the next month or two. We're gonna start planning it. So thank you, ladies, for coming. I hope to see you again soon. I'm looking forward to coming to your event. Please post. Also, send it to Kiona, that way she can post on the page. Because again, right now I have no access right now, which may be a godsend for me to get off of Facebook for a little bit anyway. So thank you, ladies, and I will see you again. Please get your book as well, Amazon, For the Love of Me. Love y'all, sisters. Thank you.